Welcome back, Maniacs. Jamie here, and today we're going to continue our comprehensive adventures retrospective by taking a look at 5936 Spider's Secret, which was released in 1999, contains 128 pieces, 3 minifigures, and retailed for $12 in the US. I've got the instructions for this one, featuring the box art on the front, and if we check out the back, we won't find any alternate builds, but rather just a few different shots of the official set. I do always enjoy seeing this old corner stamp up here though. But let's put this aside and take a look at the real thing. One of the great things about the Adventures theme was that even if your situation didn't allow for big, expensive sets, there were still some pretty awesome offerings that fit into just about anyone's budget. I think Spider's Secret happens to be one of those, so let's check it out. And I'm gonna mix things up a bit and start off with the minifigures we get. We met Senor Palomar in our last episode, and the only thing different here is that he's lugging around a backpack, also seen in last episode. This thing was awesome for the fact that you could actually open it up and store small accessories inside, like this bundle of dynamite. In addition to that, he also gets a revolver and a pickaxe. And representing our heroes is Miss Gale Storm, or Pippin Reed, depending on who you ask. For the sake of continuity and just because I like them better, I'm going to be using the original names given to the characters in this and all future episodes. Miss Storm is the only adventurer who actually changed her clothes since leaving Egypt, and I like the update. Here she's given a nice green jacket, tan shirt with some pretty decent detailing, and red pants. And she's wearing her trusty white pith helmet. She's also given a ton of accessories to help in her quest. A rifle, a knife, binoculars, a magnifying glass, and a coffee mug. And besides all that, a small build for a campfire and a camera stand, which, of course, can be loaded with a printed film tile. I did mention that 3 minifigures are included, but we'll catch up with the third in a bit. For now, on to the main attraction. We've got 2 separate builds here, and first we're going to take a look at Miss Storm's new ride. This thing is very reminiscent of a few vehicles we saw last season, such as the Scorpion Tracker, but it has a few notable differences. Beginning at the rear, there's a spare wheel and tire in case we get a flat, and then we've got the cab section, which is a single-piece element that allows for 2 figures to comfortably sit side by side. As much as I love LEGO, it always bugs me a bit when vehicles are only single-seaters, which is the case more often than not, so I love this piece. And I was super happy to see that they've brought it back in the new Hidden Side theme, after being out of production for quite a few years. Inside, we've got 2 seats, of course, a steering wheel, a printed console tile, and this little slot here, where the treasure map is safely stored. It's the same one we saw in our last episode, and I was kind of disappointed that they didn't continue the sequential map idea we saw in the Egyptian theme, where we got 4 different maps to collect instead of just 1. But this is certainly better than nothing. The printed windshield is adjustable, and up front is this rounded brick representing the hood, and another printed tile for the license plate. The whole thing rides on 4 knobby tires, which offer a decent amount of ground clearance for traversing the rough jungle terrain. Like I said, this car reminds me a lot of the first incarnation of the Adventures theme, and that's certainly not a bad thing. The only thing I feel the absence of here is the storage crate at the rear, which would have come in handy, especially since Miss Storm is lugging around so much equipment. The second build we get is this small jungle shrine, which features quite a few cool elements. Up top is a torch and a pair of green feather pieces representing plants, and the main bulk of the build makes good use of the red, yellow, and blue color schemes so prevalent in the jungle theme architecture. You've got a few more bits of foliage to give it a proper overgrown look, some simple design flourishes on each side, and front and center is a giant spider web and spider. I forgot to mention it in the first episode, but both of these were brand new elements in 1999. And they're still pretty cool 20 years later. The web is clipped to these bar bricks so it can easily be moved up and out of the way, and here we'll find minifig number 3, the classic floppy-armed skeleton, clutching a silver knife and reminding us that Achu doesn't mess around. My collection of these guys is steadily growing, and I can't say I'm upset about that. With the web out of the way, we also get a better look at these two really cool printed bricks on each side. They're both identical and feature some pretty decent artwork with some vines at the top and a tribal style minifig with a very colorful getup. The metallic gold ink really sets these things off. But once we pass those and move the skeleton aside, we'll find one of a Chew's sun discs flanked by torches on each side, and it's most likely a decoy. But that doesn't mean the ruler of the jungle is going to make it easy to get. When someone not versed in a Chew's booby trap steps up to grab the sun disk, they're going to find themselves with a splitting headache thanks to this halberd. The chop action is activated by pulling this pin out back. Like all LEGO booby traps, I love it, but I think the designer should have found a way to better hide the halberd behind this pillar, since it sticks out too far to really surprise anyone. And lastly, we get a second spider and a scorpion to round out the scene. Obviously, this one isn't going to go down as one of the greatest sets ever, but I think for what it is, it's just about perfect, and would be a great start to any Adventures Jungle collection. You get a few key players, tons of accessories, and a couple pretty cool elements, such as the sun disk and those two printed column bricks. So if you like what you've seen and want to add this to your LEGO shelf, you can expect to pay right around $20 for a used set, and closer to $50 for a sealed copy. Either way, I think you'll enjoy having it. But that's all for today. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to leave a like, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because we've got some pretty cool jungle sets coming up soon. But until then, this has been Jamie for TrikBrix. As always, thanks for watching, take care, and play well!